Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 4:30.
We speak with a Lexington homeowner who says she woke to find a water main break flooding her house with 6 feet of water.
One Lexington high school had extra police on hand today. We'll tell you why. And a man said he was robbed at a store, but police say his story does not add up. WKYT News at 4:30 starts now.
Good afternoon. Sam Dick and Jennifer Palumbo reporting. 2 water main breaks causing quite a mess in Lexington.
One left several feet of water inside at least one home. Another is still tying up traffic on one of Lexington's busiest roads. WKYT's Mark Barber is tracking the efforts to get everything repaired. It's our top story at 4:30.
Crews say they have temporarily fixed the water main breaks that tied up traffic here on Nicholasville Road and flooded homes on Elam Park. I'm told it may take Kentucky American Water crews all day to repair the damage. Crews believe a leaking gasket on a valve caused the Nicholasville Road water main break around 10:20 last night. Kentucky American Water tells us nearby hospitals, schools, and homes have not reported any issues. But it's quite a different story on Rosemont Garden, where another water main break flooded homes with up to 6 feet of water last night. Crews believe that water main break may have been caused by vibrations from nearby trains. Homeowners tell us the water main break sent water spilling into their houses, causing tens of thousands of dollars in damage. One family on Elam Park says they woke at midnight to find water rushing into their garage and basement. We're told they are still waiting to find out if their home is livable.
There's a lot of panic because, I mean, even though it wasn't really high at that point, you know something's wrong and you got to get out, and the lights were flickering.
While crews work to repair the water main here on Nicholasville Road, the right outbound lane will be closed between Penmoken and Wabash. They say they hope to be finished here by the end of the day. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
We're told Kentucky American Water's insurance company will cover the cost of damages for people with flooded property. Well, if you are planning to watch a high school football game tonight, it looks like the weather is a winner.
Yes, indeed. WKYT's chief meteorologist Chris Bailey is licking his chops because this is a great looking night.
Yeah, it's a pretty straightforward and an easy forecast. And guys, that is exactly how we like it on a Friday. And high school football fans, boy, you have to love what is out there right now. Skycam is showing some clouds to your south. So you look toward that southern horizon right now. No matter where you are, you're going to see a little bit of cloud cover. This is what it looks like on Defender with those high, thin clouds that are beginning to lift in from south to north. Kickoff for the high school football games, by the way, coming up here in a couple of hours. We're talking about mid-70s, very mild, partly cloudy sky. By the second half, it's a great evening for football. Not that there's really a bad one in my book. 69 degrees as we roll out of halftime into the third quarter. Weather headlines. Saturday continues to look great, though some showers try to get in here late Sunday into early next week. And speaking of next week, some changes start to show up. That may have an impact on the opening day of the fall meet at Keeneland. 7-day forecast with the changes coming up, guys.
Police are looking for the gunman who robbed a Lexington business. It happened about 7:45 this morning at the Foodland Market on Eureka Springs Drive. The clerk says when a man came in demanding money, he thought the man was joking until he saw a gun. There were some customers in the store at the time. The clerk says the man took about $50 from the register. You may have noticed more police if you have a child who goes to Bryan Station High School. Police say a high school student was approached by a man she didn't know on her way to school yesterday morning. School leaders sent a letter home with students. The letter says a man in a white truck offered the girl a ride as she walked to school near Bryan Avenue and Arsimi Avenue. She ran to a nearby Walgreens where an employee let her inside.
2 FBI employees are dead after a boating accident on the Ohio River. The FBI in Cincinnati says the 2 off-duty employees were on a pleasure boat that crossed right in front of a 600-foot barge between Newport and Cincinnati last night. The men, who were in their 20s, were Cincinnati Division employees. They were found on the boat when crews arrived. A dive team searched the river for more possible victims, but say nothing was found. An investigation is underway after a man was found dead in a septic tank. The man's body was found last night at a home in Louisville. The victim was a self-employed contractor. His name has not been released. Louisville police say there are no signs of foul play. Police in southern Kentucky went to a store this morning for a report of a robbery.
But when they got there, everything was not what it seemed. As Mitchell Grogg tells us, one Hazard police officer called the situation shenanigans.
Police came here because of a report of a robbery, but police say the story did not hold up.
After we started talking to some people, some witnesses, we thought that it was pretty much shenanigans, and we started looking deeper into it.
As they looked deeper, police say the shenanigans became more apparent.
I brought one of the employees, Eric Pennington, down to the police department, and he wrote out a voluntary statement that he made the story up, took a board and hit himself across the back of the head, and then hid the money in the console in his vehicle.
Next door, United Grocery Outlet's manager says the store has safeguards in place to prevent an actual robbery of this kind from happening.
We have an armored car service comes in, they pick the money up, take it out. We never even have to touch it.
They do not have to touch it, and they cannot.
We've got signs posted, saying we have no access to the funds. So, we feel pretty secure in that. It's worked really good.
As police return the funds they say Pennington stole, as he faces charges. In Perry County, Mitchell Grog.
Police charged Pennington with theft of more than $500 and falsely reporting an incident.
It's good news for bourbon lovers. Brown-Forman is building a new distillery and visitor center. We'll tell you when it'll open.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey and First Alert Defender.
Just about ready to officially sound the horn and call it a week and head into the weekend. Now we're dealing with a little change in the overall weather pattern. You're starting to see some of those changes showing up on our live sky cam. Veering toward the south on our sky cam, and we can notice now a little cloud cover, giving our skyline some flavoring. You look way, way up there. Those are ice crystal clouds. They're not going to produce precipitation, as is being shown here on Live First Alert Defender. That is clean and calm when it comes to rain. But we throw the clouds into the mix, and the clouds right on cue this afternoon now beginning to filter in from the volunteer state of Tennessee. As we work our way into Saturday, those temperatures tomorrow will be into the upper 70s and low 80s for highs under a partly sunny sky. That's zone by zone now for your Saturday. Low 80s into most of the bluegrass country, though if the clouds tomorrow are a little thicker, many areas may stay into the upper 70s. And right now we're going to be fighting some of those clouds. Upper 70s, low 80s doesn't matter. Either way, it's going to be a very, very nice weather day. Right at 80 degrees, West Liberty, Jackson, Hazard, get into Moorhead and Northern Kentucky, 80, 81 degrees. Should be a very fine afternoon. Now let's look at the hour-by-hour forecast to show the temperatures, the clouds, and any kind of precipitation that may or may not begin to show up. 8 o'clock this evening into the 11 o'clock hour, not a whole lot that is out there. 7 a.m. A lot of folks heading out to Commonwealth Stadium about that time. Kegs and eggs in the morning? Yeah, why not, huh? For tailgaters out there, it's a very early start to the day. By the time we hit noon, kicking things off into the mid-70s. By around 5 o'clock tomorrow, we do notice some clouds. And look at those numbers, 79, 80, 81 degrees. What this model is trying its very best to do is at some point tomorrow evening into tomorrow night, bring a little light shower into southern parts of Kentucky. But those clouds continue to thicken with a threat for a shower or two on Sunday afternoon. Mid and upper 70s, better chances for some showers then roll into town as we go into Sunday evening. That should carry us into Sunday night and Monday as well. Little yard work forecast. Dry tomorrow. Chance for a shower as we go into Sunday. A little better shot for Monday, especially for areas to our south and southeast. I don't think either day will be a washout at this point. 57, a little late night fog later tonight. Tomorrow afternoon, your skyline is likely to look a whole lot like what we're seeing now, where you have that little bit of milky overcast. Upper 70s to low 80s will show up across the entire area. For the rest of that extended forecast, after the threat for a few showers on Monday, that knocks the temperatures down mid and upper 70s. We start to rebound a bit. It's going to get windy by the middle and end of next week, pushing 80 again on Wednesday. That's day 1 of October. Now, 80 degrees into October, that's not going to last very long. Likely that will be wiped out by the end of next week. 1 week from today is the opening of the fall meet at Keeneland, and that may also be the same time a big cold front arrives here with some showers and thunderstorms, and it gets chilly next weekend. But between now and then, a lot of 70s and maybe 80.
You had a big day along with a lot of other people getting your Garth Brooks tickets. Are you kind of humming a little tune underneath the...
I am. I'm constantly friends in low places.
That's us.
I'll do a little dance over here, whatever you want. Huh?
Well, congratulations. It'll be a great show.
Well, bourbon lovers will soon have another place to tour.
Brown-Forman announced a new distillery. It will open on Whiskey Row in Louisville for its bottled bourbon brand, Old Forester. As Ann Bowen reports, the investment will help revitalize 150 years of history.
Bourbonism's getting a shot in the arm almost every day, it seems like.
It's a bourbon shot that's not from a glass, but from a $30 million investment by Brown-Forman. The purpose? To revitalize downtown Louisville and a 150-year history almost lost.
It was a little over 3 years ago when we were literally facing down the wrecking ball on the block of Whiskey Row.
But after that 3 years, Brown-Forman has now announced it plans to restore these two buildings at 117 and 119 West Main Street. The company will establish Old Forester's home distillery and a tourist facility.
When Whiskey Row was available, they've spent a lot of time looking at it, I believe, and creating a concept in there that's going to be fabulous.
It's returning to our roots for us. We previously occupied these buildings in the 1900s.
In 1870, George Garvin Brown introduced America's first bottled bourbon. It changed Louisville's commerce industry and community. Brown-Forman's new multi-million-dollar investment will revitalize that history and preserve the buildings where it began.
Brown-Forman has a long history of historic preservation, so being able to incorporate these elements into our plans to make a world-class tourist destination and operating distillery is wonderful.
In addition to being the home base for the brand, the new facility will also allow tourists to see the fermenting, distilling, and bottling of the famous bourbon in 55,000 square feet of space and see the brand's specific barrels made only for the Forester bourbon.
With the original bourbon, Old Forester, $30 million project, which is going to revitalize even further Whiskey Row. Couldn't be happier.
Brown-Forman believes this building project will take about 2 years and will employ about 24 people. In addition to Old Forester, Brown-Forman produces several liquors including Jack Daniel's, Southern Comfort, Early Times, and Woodford Reserve. More than 9,000 jobs in Kentucky are related to distilleries, and that translates into about $415 million in pay.
It's a big weekend for a Kentucky native. Details on George Clooney's wedding coming up on WKYT News at 4:30.
Hey, it's Officer Dawn.
And Deanne.
And we are out and about at our 98.1 The Bull studios talking
about Garth Brooks.
Yeah, it's what you want to hear about. We've got everything about the concert coming up here on WKYT.
Garth Brooks announcing today he's adding 2 more shows in Lexington.
The country music superstar will play 2 concerts at Rupp Arena on Friday, October 31st, 2 that night, and then 2 concerts on Saturday, November 1st. Deanne Stevens, a huge fan, is out and about with the details. Hey, Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, guys, from our 98.1 The Bull studios, where we have spent much of the day talking about Garth Brooks, and for good reason, because he is setting some serious records here in Lexington, Kentucky, all about Rupp Arena. Michael Jordan, our program director, is with us, and Michael, this is pretty exciting in the world of country music.
Well, 3 shows. I mean, it's exciting when you realize that Garth Brooks has sold about the same number of albums as the Beatles and Elvis. That's a huge artist. But then he sold 3 shows in 1998. Now he's at 4 shows in 2014. It's incredible. And this guy is so great on stage, and it's going to be a great show. There's still some tickets available for the Friday shows, so log on to Ticketmaster.com/Garth Brooks. But it's going to be a great time. And you know what? The great about this is that not only is he going to be great on the stage and energetic, but the tickets are reasonable. They're $69 all in. That's everything. That includes all of your fees, and you can get them still at Ticketmaster.com.
Okay, and you can also get them by liking 98.1 The Bull's Facebook page. And we might have, you're the boss. Are we going to have any contests?
For KYT viewers only, if you log on to our Facebook page, there'll be a special contest right now. Just search 98.1 The Bull on Facebook and you can win.
Okay, very cool. All right, so Officer Dawn was so sweet today. This is what he gave me. Credit card. We really were hard at work, seriously, trying to get our own tickets. This is the hottest ticket in town. You and I got to see the show on Sunday night. Talk a bit about that and what a treat it is going to be for folks in Lexington.
Well, the show in Atlanta was amazing, but you know, when we talked to Garth yesterday, we asked him, what's the difference in other places you played versus Rupp? And he said it. He said the energy. He said in Rupp, you feel like the people are right on top of you. He said he'd hate to be in there trying to compete with somebody with all the Cat fans, because the concert in itself himself has so much power and energy, and I think he meant it. I mean, he really went on and on about Rupp Arena and the folks here in Kentucky that go to the shows.
Yeah, and you and I had the opportunity to talk yesterday after our conversation with Garth, and we both said, wow, he just is such an amazing human being. He really is, and the care he took with our
he called her honey.
Oh yeah, well that too. That went over well with me. but seriously, just from being an incredible entertainer to just a great interview, anything and everything above. You see why he's selling out shows.
Yeah, he's just a good guy. As people said, he got 5 minutes and he talked for forever. There's no limit with the guy. He just seems like a really good guy.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are so excited to welcome Garth Brooks to town. Of course, as you heard the boss say, for our WKYT viewers, search 98.1 The Bull on Facebook, and there's going to be some more contests, and we might have some too, right?
We'll probably scrape up a couple of tickets. I mean, she's got my credit card. So.
That's right. We'll have lots of giveaways, I'm sure. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about in our 98.1 The Bull studios. It's time for us to go home. It's been a long day, right? Excited to welcome Garth. Back to you guys.
And Chris Bailey, who is going to the Saturday night show, went to the show 16 years ago, said tickets were $18.
I was at that show too, and I don't remember them being that cheap, but if he says so, right, 18? That was a great deal back then.
Yes.
It was a great show then, too.
Absolutely. It'll be another great show.
Hollywood A-listers preparing to toast Matthew McConaughey, and the first official hint when George Clooney and his fiancée will tie the knot.
Suzanne Marquez has today's Eye on Entertainment.
The city of Venice is preparing for the upcoming wedding of George Clooney and Amal Alamuddin. Italian officials are closing pedestrian walkways around the Cavalli Palace on Monday to prevent crowds from gathering and creating a safety risk. The Cavalli Palace is often used for civil marriage ceremonies. Some of Hollywood's leading ladies are helping celebrate Oscar winner Matthew McConaughey at the American Cinematheque's annual gala. Jessica Chastain, Jennifer Garner, and Reese Witherspoon are among the friends and colleagues toasting McConaughey. Jimmy Kimmel is hosting the affair at the Beverly Hilton Hotel next month. And out in theaters today, the revenge flick, The Equalizer.
It is about a guy who's a knight in shining armor, except he lives in a world where knights don't exist anymore.
Denzel Washington plays a man with a secret past, trying to live an unassuming life. But his history comes to light when he confronts Russian gangsters and crooked cops. Also in theaters, the stop-motion and computer-animated feature, The Box Trolls.
When you meet someone, you must look them in the eye and shake hands. What are you doing?
For the adults, the movie is about identity and class warfare. For the kids, the Box Trolls are mischievous, cute cavern dwellers who wear cardboard boxes. They've raised an orphan human as one of their own, and he works to save his loyal friends. And that's your Eye on Entertainment. Suzanne Marquez, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Former Jersey Shore star Nicole Palizzi, better known as Snooki, is a mom again. She and her fiance Gianni Laval are now the proud parents of a baby girl. They named her Giovanna Marie Laval. Snooki says the baby weighed 6.7 pounds and was born with a full head of black hair. The couple also has a 2-year-old son.
Well, maybe you remember those comfy footy pajamas. Maybe you wore them as a kid. We'll show you the onesies business equivalent.
It's going to be a great night for those high school football games and a great day tomorrow. UK fans in Commonwealth Stadium.
I was over at Commonwealth today and on campus. It's just a busy place. You have that feel of fall and football, and Chris, I can't wait.
That's a good feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you think about it when we're out there tomorrow, how it's going to feel as we're packed with blue into Commonwealth Stadium on a day that looks very similar to what we have out there now. And right now, it's just absolutely gorgeous yet again. Show you a couple of cameras from throughout the land. Let's take you into Southern Kentucky. Hello, Corbin, and welcome to your weekend on Interstate 75. A lot of folks out traveling with a mix of some sun and clouds northbound on 75 into Madison County here, not too far away from Richmond, dealing with a little bit of cloud cover, and we're seeing those clouds inching in from south to north now. Those are the ice crystal clouds that we've been following over the past few days. You often will get those ahead of maybe a little precipitation maker, and that's a chance for some showers that we'll check in on coming up for the end of the weekend. That's a little later on with the hour-by-hour forecast. Speaking.
Well, a visit from beyond, a unique fashion statement for men, and a baby hippo.
It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
Police in Espanola, New Mexico are catching more than just criminals with their surveillance cameras. Some people say they have caught the undead. A ghostly image appeared on the police station security system last weekend. It shows a translucent figure slipping in and out of a secure area without opening a gate or setting off an alarm. Detectives say they have no logical explanations for what that is exactly.
Well, Sam, this might be a nice option for you. It's a onesie for men. Its designer says the suitsie is a great way to look professional but feel like you're wearing pajamas. The makeshift unitard is basically a man's dress suit, but all the pieces are sewn together. What we don't know, though, if they're all sewn together, is how you would use the bathroom.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they may have to figure that out.
Plan plenty of time for that maneuver, or you've got a mess on your hands. All right, a Kentucky zoo needs your help this afternoon after a pygmy hippo made his public debut this morning. The Louisville Zoo will have brief daily viewings so folks can see the newborn hippo. There he is. He's a doll. They say that this is the hippo was born just last month and will be shown in the upper part of the Hippo Falls. Spend the weekend brainstorming names because the zoo will start considering those names on Monday. He's a little fella, isn't he?
Yeah, really cute.
All right. Here's what we're working on next for WKYT Now at 5 o'clock.